Good afternoon and welcome to my soggy part of the world. My name's Cary and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here in the United Kingdom. I'm going to make a card using acetate. Now, if you don't know what acetate is, or window sheet as it's called in Stampin' Up circles, it's a clear, firm plastic that you often see on the window part of packaging. And I've had a bright idea, don't ask me why, to make a card using it. So here we go. Please bear with as I slip you around. Please, if you could send me a thumbs up if you can see or hear me. Hi, Andrea. That's great. Bear with as I rotate you round. Now, everything's going to be a little bit shiny because that is the one problem with working with something that is so shiny. This is the acetate. You can see there. But before we get to that bit, we need to decide on what paper to use because this will, hi Ali, this will influence our cardstock choices. So these pieces I've picked out are from the, I can never remember the name of it, sorry, Winter Meadow 12 by 12 DSP. I've chosen one that's got trees on it because I've got some trees dies that I'd quite like to use. But then I saw this one and I thought, do you know what? I really like that image. I think that's rather lovely. Maybe I could use that with the deer. I don't know if you can see the stag there. And then this one. This is my favourite out of the whole pack, which is very unusual for me, but it's all sprigs and berries, and I think it's just very cheerful and a lovely alternative to today's green grots and grimy weather. Now, first one that says, which one shall I use? Shall I use floral, trees, or stag? The grayscale one. Okay, Ali, we're going grayscale. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is actually trim this down to fit inside our card, so I don't have to hang around holding it forever. So this is just going to be a mat on the inside of our card. Hi Lynn. It's very, very pretty paper. But the piece that's going to make it more interesting is this piece of acetate. Now I cut this from a piece of 12 by 12. It measures 29.7 by 10.5, so a standard C6 card. I have scored it down the middle, but I haven't completely squished it into place yet because I'm going to emboss it. I don't know where I got this idea from, but I thought it might be fun to emboss acetate. So I've decided on the Snowflake 3D embossing folder because I thought it was quite, you can't really see it. Let me put something behind it. Better? Yeah, that's a bit better. It's got a deeper section at the bottom and lighter at the top. So it's a really lovely embossing folder. It's a 3D one, so it's quite textural as well, which I thought would be quite nice for our acetate. So we're going to do a little bit of partial embossing. Well, not partial, we're just going to put our card base in. And because this is very, very slippery, I am going to use some tape to just hold it in place. Because what I'm trying to do is get this fold line. Well, neither had I until I had the Bright Spark idea this afternoon. So I'm going to just put a bit of tape on there. I may actually need to get some more because that's not holding. That's been used a few times. Let's take some of this one. I do also have a top tip for once we've done this. We don't really want lots of sticky on there. So we're going to give it a clean over before we put the card together with some alcohol. You can use lens wipes what's the alcohol wipes that you get in all sorts of things these days. Okay, so we're going to close that up. We're going to place our top grey plate on top, so it's just on the edge of the card because we don't want to go through the back. Now we are going to have to get the big boy out. Oh, bear with. Oh, sorry, he takes up an awful lot of the screen, but he does do a good job. So let me just get the plates. So when we're using the big cut and emboss machine to use a 3D embossing folder, we need to use platform 1 and then the special platform 4, I do believe. We'll see what number comes. Yep, 4, and your embossing folder. So let's just pop that through there. Let's move that out the way. Send that back. Pop that there. Get this out the way. Hopefully we won't need to use that again. Well, we might do if it doesn't work. I'm sure it will work. In my head it works, so let's, that is so pretty. I just take the tape off, which has also got embossed, which is very nice. Totally useless. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to put a piece of cardstock behind there. Can you see how that has embossed on there? Isn't that lovely? I think that's gorgeous. Now we are going to take a bone folder and we're going to, this is all shiny on the screen, I'm sure. I can't really actually even see it, so who knows what it looks like. We're going to take a bone folder and give it a really good fold from the back. And we're only doing it from, hi Louise, nice of you to see you. The only reason I'm doing it from the back is because I don't want to deboss these images. And that will now stand up quite nicely. Well, it stands up tenfold style, not a problem. Let me just move some things because that's going to cause an avalanche in a minute. So, what are we doing? Actually, I'm going to give this a little clean. I'm going to use some 99.9% acetate, isopropyl. I've got a piece of kitchen roll and I'm just going to give it a wipe over on the side that isn't embossed so that it's nice and clean. Perhaps should have done this before I started, but hey ho. Oh, now my line looks a bit scriffy there. Can you see I've cut it on a slant? I know catching you live. I'm very proud that you're catching me live at all. And then we give that another wipe. We're going to have to do that, give that a trim. But before we do that, let's just wave this around a minute and make sure that we're dry. Acetate will dry quickly from the alcohol. And that's put the lid back on the alcohol because otherwise you might gas yourself. Okay, let me grab my, I'm going to take my trusty little guillotine because when I cut this piece, I cut it at an angle. So now I don't think everything's going to fit properly, but that's all right. We can adjust. We will adjust and adapt as we go along, won't we? Well, I will. Let's put that in there. Just trim that off. Get rid of that piece. And then we will measure. I'm using my grid, the grid on my glass cutting mat. And it now fits the right size. So we now have a card base. So what are we going to do? Well, first thing we're going to do is actually put our piece of patterned paper that we decided on the back so that you can see the snow through there. Okay, I'm going to give that another score because that is not holding itself nicely. Behave. I'm actually going to trim this down a little bit more. This is a 10 by 14.4 piece. I'm going to make it a bit smaller because I want to see some more of the acetate. So it has that more of a floating look. So I'm going to trim another 0.5 centimetre off the width and the length. Like that. And do not throw away these little pieces because they make great things if you want to have things dangling in your projects. Oh, just put them away. So we got that. That's nice. Yes, I like that. Now, how are we going to attach this? Well, I personally would only use tape runner or tape. I think liquid glue will work, but it's going to take a long time to dry. So all I'm going to do is just put some tape down. You could, if you've got the adhesive sheets, you could run the whole panel through on an adhesive sheet, and that would give you a very nice smooth surface that you could probably get away with not putting anything on the back. But because I'm going to put something on the back, I'm not worrying about that. Let's just put another piece across the middle, just to belts and braces, belts and braces. Here we go. There it is. So, make sure you've got it up the right way. I wonder if it would be easier if I put that on a black background. So I'm now going to place my piece of patterned paper on the inside of my acetate card base. There it goes. And there it is, all caught behind there. I like that very much. Now I'm going to grab some some smoky slate cardstock. I think black would be too, yeah, I think the smoky slate works quite well. And I'm just going to cut a panel that is going to fit on the back. I mean, you can see the glue through there, but I mean, some people might be okay with that. Personally, I prefer to cover up the inner workings. Let's make a mat to go on the back, which we can decorate at a later time, but for now we're just going to leave plain. So 13.9 by 9.5 centimetres, so it's the same size as our panel there. And actually I am going to just literally trim a hair's breadth off of it, so that I know it's on the inside of the pattern paper, so it's not going to peek through to the front. There we go. I mean, that is 0.5 millimetre smaller than that, but it will mean that nothing will peek through to the front. Again, I'm going to use tape to adhere it. So let's just pop this on. I'm going to do all 4 sides on this piece simply because if I do write on it, I don't want it slipping around, do I? It needs to be nice and secure. So there we go. Now my top tip for tape is to peel up a portion on each of the 4 strips and bend them so that they are outside of the mat of cardstock. And the last one goes there. And the reason I do this is it means that I can have some flexibility when I'm putting this together. So let's line this up. And hold your breath, because it's pretty tricky to do this when you've got camera under your nose. Double check from the front. We can't see the cardstock, which is what I wanted. And then all you do, gently pull your tabs and your tape will be uncovered. There we have it. So that's easy squeezy. Nice and simple to do that. Get rid of some of these scraps out the way. So what are we going to do on the front? Well, I like to see my stag there. This is now standing very easily. That front piece is a little bowed. So we can tease it with our hands, but I suspect it will continue to stay bowed. So maybe what I'm going to do is put a panel of cardstock about here. What am I going to put behind it? I have got out the Frosted Forest dies, because this kind of reminds me of those, and I could use this lovely long silhouette die here. Tip for when you're trying to get these off: fold the paper back, not the die. Peel the paper away from the die rather than the die away from the paper. So I could put that across there. That would look very nice, wouldn't it? And then maybe, what am I going to cut it out of? Well, I could use grey. We could use grey. But I do believe I have somewhere down here something sparkly. I have some white sparkle. What's they calling it? Berry Burst, Old Olive and White Glimmer Paper. It's a multi-pack. I think it's an online special. But I do have a piece of white here. Do we think, oh, should we go sparkly? I think we should go sparkly, don't you? Now, if I die cut that way, which is the way I would normally die cut through glimmer paper, unfortunately my trees are going to go there. Now if my trees are there, they're hiding the stag completely, so I'm going to have to buck up and just cut it this way. So let's trim a piece out. We don't need to waste lots. We can cut around it like this, and then we're going to pop that through the die cutting machine. But for this one I can use my little cut and emboss machine. So normally I wouldn't recommend cutting through from the front on glimmer, but for this occasion we're going to have to. So here we go. Make your sandwich, pop it through the machine. And there we are. It's all sparkly and glary today. Okay. Oh, look at this. Ha-ha! Let me just check this has all come out beautifully. Well, it's not in the die. Okay, let's get rid of the large pieces. And amongst the trees, sometimes these very fine pieces do take a little bit of wiggling to get free, but you just have to be patient and gentle. There we are. There we go. Come on, out you come. Okay, so that has, because it has hasn't cut the ends, that's fine, because our length of width of our card is longer than that, so we just need to, I'm just going to trim here on this end so I can free this piece. I'm going to snip that off. Isn't that beautiful? Again, I don't know that you can see under the, how about there? It is very, very sparkly in real life. Oh, look, I missed a piece. Let's get that in there. The nice thing about this is it's plain white on the back. So when I attach it to here, it isn't going to be a problem on the other side because we can still, it's just white. But this now, how am I going to attach it? Well, I think I might have to bite the bullet and go for some wet glue. I'm just going to lay that, I'm going to put that right along that bottom edge there, I think. I quite like that. Don't know if you can see when it's standing, it goes right across there. So, what else could I use to stick it? Glue dots, but they'll show through. I could cut again and put it through. Oh, yes, I could. Let's just try some wet glue. When it wants to come out, that would be very good. So we're going to pop some down there. I'm going to pop some along these stems, trunks, and maybe a little dot in some of the foliage. I don't want to get lots of glue all over the place. So top tip, when you do this, put it down and don't move it around. Hold it in place, maybe even put some blocks on top to hold it down. And whilst that's setting, I'm going to grab this back and I'm actually going to do a reverse one so that I can put that on the back. So here we go. Let's cut some out again. Sorry, move you up there. Thank you. Get the embossing machine out again. Cut and emboss. This mini cut and emboss is so handy. I love the big boy. Don't forget, I do love the big cut and emboss, but this mini one is so cool for just these odd little things and small pieces. You don't have to get, unless you're fortunate enough, of course, to have an embossing, die cutting station. So you can have your big die cutting machine out all the time. I don't. So we've cut that out the other way. And I'm not very good at this, but mirror imaging tells me that this should now fit through the other way. Do you think I'm right? Am I going to get this right? Let's give it a wiggle. Gentle teasing. Get rid of those little bits out of there, all the way around the edges. Yeah, it cuts beautifully. I have to say, it's very good. There we are. And then just get that piece out, and these little bits here. And there, last one. And then we're going to take the scissors again and snip off the end there and cut it there. Now that will now go on the inside, and that will also help us strengthen that bottom edge. And we just need to be very careful about where we're putting the glue. I'll just fold that flat for a moment. Well, it doesn't want to go flat, it wants to pop up, but that's okay. It can. Actually, I'm going to put the glue on here, on the acetate, because then I know it's in the right place. Just making sure I keep it within the lines of the die cut underneath. Now, I'm a bit shaky today, so this might not be as perfect as you guys can do it, but it's as good as mine is going to get today. Okay, why do I decide to do these things when I'm not at my best? Okay, I'm going to double check that looks okay from the front. Oh, look, it looks like we've got two trees. Move it across a little bit. Line them up again. Double check at the front. And then we're going to put that down there, and we're going to put that on there, and that one there. So we've got those, hopefully, attaching with the glue. So let's get rid of that guy. So I've got the rest of the trees here. I want to put something on the front for a sentiment, or should I put the sentiment on the inside? Oh, that's a thought. Sentiment on the inside or the front? I think on the inside, I think would be my preferred place, because otherwise we're going to lose all that beautiful paper. So we're going to use a little bit of the smoky slate cardstock. We're going to find a lovely sentiment. Oh, I don't know, what have I got here? I have these 4 stamp sets. Snowy Wonder, which is my go-to for the past month. I've used this on practically everything. Oh, how about May All Your Days Be Full of Cheer? I like that. That's Reindeer Fun. That's another favourite. And then I've got the Merriest Trees and Decorative Trees. I think that one. Inside. Thank you, Mummy. I think I'm going to go for that. May all your days be full of cheer, because that's a very nice sentiment. And we're going to need a long block. And now the question is, do we want to stamp in? I don't really want to stamp in black. I think I quite like to go. No, it's going on grey cardstock. Maybe black is the way to go. Let's give it a try, shall we? Bring out my handy dandy piercing mat. My grandson was crafting with me at the weekend, and he liked the piercing tool and the piercing mat for making holes. I haven't used it for that in a long time. So tap, 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 inking up nicely and generously, and then lining up on here. Now I'm going to pop it quite in the middle, because I think I'm going to die cut it out, but I don't quite know what shape yet. Maybe I should have thought of that first. That works nice. Yes, that will work nicely on there. So let's just wipe this clean. Give it a quick wipe and put that over there for the moment. What are we going to use to cut that out with? Decisions. Oh, how about nested essentials? What's in here? You don't think you've ever made an acetate card? It's very easy. It's just a bit, you have to be a bit mindful, I think, is the problem with it. Now, these are called nested essentials. I love this rounded corner. These are very useful. And this is, when we first got these, we thought these were coffin shapes. They're not. They're just hexagonals that are a bit smushed in the middle, on the edges. Now, look at the size of that sentiment. Do I think that is going to fit round there? No, that's a shame, because I like that shape. But don't worry, we've got these ones. Do we think that middle one there? Let's peel the backing away. That's it. And is that, oh, look at that. That fits beautifully. So let's move those to one side. And yes, I like that. I'm going to take some tape Let me just grab some repositionable tape and hold that in place. I'll take two, cut it in two because I can hold it from both ends then. Line up there, so that's straight. I know this edge now is straight. I know that this is the center line, so I'm going to try and line that up nicely there and hold it in place there as well. Now this piece is too wide to go through the mini machine, so we just take a pair of scissors to it. You can of course use your trimmer, you can use a guillotine, whatever you prefer to cut with, but for things that are like this, I just tend to go in bicycle scissors. Long bladed scissors make long straight cuts easier. Okay, let's get the little cut and emboss out. There we go. So take that off. My tape can be reused because it's reusable. And let's move these dirty pieces out of the way. So we now have our sentiment. What we need to do something with it, don't we? We can't just leave it like that. I suspect maybe, because that's going to go across there. Oh, look at that. It fits beautifully. Don't know if you can see here. That fits beautifully across there. I think maybe we need a couple of snowflakes, and I think they should be out of sparkly stuff because we've got sparkles on the front and snowflakes. So move that back round there. It is turning into an embossing, a die cutting day, isn't it? Let me just find the, I'm going to go for my favourite, which is the good old Snowy Wonder. Let's find the Snowy Wonder dies. Here we go, Snowy Wonder. Hi Becky, hi Debs, hope you're all well. Now this little one out of this set is a great all-rounder. I actually have a plain white one here already done. I'm going to see how it goes through this glimmer paper. And we're just going to put it on a little piece. We're going to pop through the machine. Sometimes delicate dyes like snowflakes and glimmer paper aren't best buddies, so we may have to go white, but that's all right. We'll give it a try and see how it goes, shall we? Cut it, roll it back so it goes through the machine twice. Let's have a little look. Has this cut nicely for us? Let's get my take your pick tool. This is the tool my grandson found very entertaining at the weekend. Oh, it seems to be cutting beautifully. Look at that. And then get rid of these little bobbly bits. Release it from the die. And we have a beautiful sparkly snowflake. I think we need a couple more of those. Of course, we have to have 3. We work in 3s. So let's just trim off a piece of there. Should manage to get 2 pieces out of that. And I will just die cut these now. I'm going to try doing them from the front just to see if it makes any difference. Because, you know, practice makes perfect. Well, no. Practice makes progress, not perfect. I learnt that the other day and I thought, you know what? That's a very good way to say it. Practice doesn't make perfect. It means you're progressing. It means you're moving forward. And that is good. There we have it. 2. And final one. I'm only going to use 3. And because they're going on the inside of the card, I don't have to worry about cutting for the inside of the front, because we won't be seeing the inside of the front this time. Let's get these out of the way. Oh, where have you gone? There you are. Now let's get those little bits poked through. Come on, how'd you come? There you go. So let's sweep those to one side. Don't sweep your dye away. Make sure you put your dyes away, or put them in a magnetic bowl or in a special dish so that you know where they are. Otherwise you'll end up being very upset that you've lost them. So we've still got the weight holding this piece down at the front. So let's get our sentiment piece there. We're going to have some snowflakes over here like this. I actually think I quite like them. Maybe some of them poking out from behind. That would be quite nice, wouldn't it? And maybe just the one coming. Okay, this is a way, the mess I make. I'm going to cut 2 of these in half, because then I can line them up underneath the sentiment and get more bang for my buck. So where do I want them? I'm going to have that one on that edge and over there, like going around that corner. So I'm going to put some tape just on this edge and a little way up the other edge. Don't throw the cover away just yet, because you never know, you might need to put it on so you can place where you're going. So we've just put in completely the wrong corner. See, I told you I'd do something silly. There we go. I'm going to put that right up to the edge because these aren't huge. There we go. Now we have it. There, there, and there. Okay, so let's find the 2 halves that we cut up. And we're going to put one there and take the other one and play. I keep dropping them. And I'm just going to put it there. So you can see my tape there means that I can just gently move that across as well, so that it makes the corner sparkle. And I'm going to do the same with this bottom corner. So this time I do want it on that piece, but remember, put your tape right up to the edge, because you are working with some very narrow pieces. Can you see on there? Trying to glue that with wet glue, I would find that very fiddly, so this is my way out of that. And again, keep the tape edge butted right up to the edge of the cardstock. Doesn't need to be huge, just needs to be there. I'm sure there are lots of pretty dies out there that would give you beautiful edges and all the rest of it, but this is my quick way of adding a bit of sparkly, snowflakey goodness to my sentiment. Okay, that then is going to fit on there. And am I going to put this one there or at the top? Or maybe I don't want to put it there at all. Maybe I'm going to go and cut this one in half as well. I'm really liking the look of those cut edges, just peeking out from the edges. So I'm going to use a little bit of tape this side and a little bit of tape this side. So we're now going to have some more half snowflakes poking out of our card. You could put foliage, you could do trees, you could do anything. This is just what I'm doing for today. And hopefully, without getting too sticky. So that's going to go in there. Now, I do think I want that to go up. But 3D foam on the inside of a card, is that a good idea? I think it is on this occasion. But I also know that I have quite a lot of this there, so I am actually going to die cut another one of those. Another one of these nested essential shapes to sandwich them all together. I've lost the dies now. Nested essentials, here we go. It could be any colour, you're not going to see it. I'm going to do it the same size. Yeah, I'm going to keep it the same size. I'm going to use this piece here. I don't have to worry about tape because I haven't stamped on it. I'm not intending to. It can go on there. There we go. There we are. Okay. There we have our piece. See, die cutting can be super speedy, can't it? It can also be quite time consuming if you're making lots, but it's worth the effort, I believe. So I'm going to take some wet glue now and just place that along the other bits that haven't got tape, because there's plenty tape on there, and we're going to line that up nicely so that it doesn't show through from the other side. The front side is the best side, so there we have it. That'll stop that, and then we're going to bring in some 3D foam. 2, 3, 4 will be more than enough, methinks, to put my sentiment there. Now, that's just there. Oh, look at that. I'm getting pleased with this. It's looking good. Let's put this in place. As long as I don't push it down too hard, it will be a little bit movable. I could go at an angle, but I don't think I want to. I think I want it to go like that, so that is showing through there. So I am going to get my bone folder back out and give that a good fold. And there we have our acetate card with the beautiful... Oh, I haven't trimmed this edge off. Wakey, wakey, Cary. Let me just get that off. Get rid of this. Move the stuff out of the way. And there we have. Now, I did bring out this ribbon. It's called Striped Trim. I don't know if it's going to go with it or not, because I had the sort that I could put a piece of ribbon on the outside as well. Should we give it a go and see what it looks like? We can always take it off, it's only ribbon. There's a lot of sparkle going on this card now, and we're going to take quite a lot of ribbon because we don't want to be skimping. This has got the most gorgeous iridescent sparkle to it. I do hope it's current. I'm hoping it is, because I really like it. So let's just put a bow into place. Probably should have gone a bit longer on the ribbon, but let's see if we can make do. No, we can't. It's too short. Let's go for a longer piece. Don't worry, that won't get wasted. I'll wind that back on there for another day. So, do we like the ribbon, or do you think we should go for a plain white ribbon? Maybe we should have the first to answer gets the way. Let's have a look at this first. To sparkle or not? That is the question. Oh, come on. Why is it when I'm doing a live I can't tie a bow? The rest of the time I'm fine. Oh, there we go. Not the not the prettiest of bows. It's not the tidiest of bows, but a bow it is, nevertheless. Come back through there. Maybe you'll behave better. That's it. You know, I quite like when you fuss with the ribbon until you get it exactly the way you want it. And trim that off there, and that off there. Now, do we like the ribbon? Or is it too much? The card stands beautifully. I think this is stunning. I love the embossed texture on there and the sentiment, and you can see the deer coming through there, which is lovely. It does stand. This is a slippery surface, so you know it's not always the best. You do have somewhere to write on the back. I think it's got plenty of sparkle. I'm not sure if it needs this or white. I'm going to have a go at some of this. What's this one? This is Frayed Grosgrain ribbon in basic white. Let's find the end. So we've gone completely black and grey, and well, grayscale as Ali suggested. I hope you like it, Ali. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get this ribbon out. Oh, my fingers ain't working today. Ah, there we go. I've got an end. Or should we just go white? You know what? This is very easy to slip off. So I'm just going to, because it's not attached in any way, I'm just going to very gently slip this off. The acetate is quite flexible, which is quite handy. Oh, keep going, keep going. Come on, that's it. I don't want to untie it because I've made a nice bow. If I decide to use it. Right, so we had a look at that. Now let's have a look at the frayed white ribbon. Go for a long piece again. Again, I won't wait. These won't be wasted. They will get used. And lots of other some Christmassy, wintry projects to play with. This is very soft, this ribbon, and it's easy to colour. So it's quite a useful little ribbon, this. That way round. Let's try that again. That's better. Don't tie it too tight because we don't want to spoil the edge of our card. And let's make some bunny ears. Pop him through. And there. So which do you prefer? Did you prefer the sparkly iridescent, or do you prefer the white on there? I'm going to leave the white on there for the moment, just so you can make a decision for me. I'm good like that. a little bow on it. This is a little thicker. It's a bit heavier. I don't know quite what I prefer. The iridescent or the grosgrain. White. Everybody's saying white. Perfect. Thank you very much. I think the sparkle was just a bit too much, wasn't it? So there you have it. You have your acetate card with plenty space to write. It's quite sturdy. It's not flimsy card at all. I love this texture on the embossing folder. I think this is fab. I'm going to give this another go. I think this needs more exploring done. I think the paper was a great choice, Ali. Yeah, I'm very happy with that. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to doing another live next Monday. Now, on other business notes, there is a great joining offer at the moment. If anybody in the UK is interested and doesn't already have a demo, I'd love to talk to you about the opportunity. Also, if you're into kits, there is a kit sale going on for the rest of this month, which I'm hoping, I don't think it's going to get here in time. I think I'm going to have to wait for another week. But I was hoping to share a kit with you next week, but it hasn't arrived yet. So it might not get here, but we never know. And if we don't, we'll find something else to use. Now, if you've got any ideas, any suggestions, please give me a shout, leave a message. I'd love to have a play. Anyway, that's all from me now. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining me, and have a good week. See you soon. Bye-bye.